A good first start for this problem is your hexagon. It says the perimeter, we're going to be asked to find the perimeter and the area of a regular hexagon, and we've been given the apothem, which is 34 feet. So I'm going to start by just drawing the apothem. First, I'm going to kind of fill in these little equilateral triangles here. Are they equilateral? I guess I should ask. Notice there are 6 triangles. And so if there are 6 triangles, we know that the distance all the way around here is 360, which means that each of these angle measures right here is going to have to be 60, okay? So just recognizing that is pretty important, and that's just true for a hexagon because there's 6 sides to a hexagon. So that's an interesting first piece of information. The apothem is 34 feet, so that gives us this distance right here. Now that's also a right angle, so this is 34 feet, okay? So a good sketch is a very excellent start. We know that the formula for the area is equal to 1/2 A apothem times the perimeter, okay? Well, we have the apothem. All we need to find is the perimeter. So let's work towards finding the perimeter. In this case, the perimeter is not going to be found until we know this dimension right here. So my next question for you is, what is the degree measure here and what is the degree measure here? I think that because you recognize that this was 60, I hope that you know that this angle measure is 60 as well, and that this little angle measure right here is 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this little triangle out right here and just enlarge it just a bit so that we can actually label everything properly. This is 60 degrees, this is a right angle, this is 34, and this is 30. Now, here's the deal. We have to use exact values. So I'm going to draw a sketch of my reference triangle oriented the same way. I know this is 60. No, this is 30, which means this is the square root of 3. This is equal to 1, and this is equal to 2. So I can set up a proportion to figure out what this value is. And I don't really care about the hypotenuse here. What I really care about is this measurement right here, because this measurement is the same as this yellow measurement right here. Do you see that? That's what's going to help me find my perimeter. So if you notice, please, that the square root of 3, in other words, this leg times this leg over 1. So square root of 3, and this is the one we don't know. So let's say 34 is the square root of 3 as x is to 1. So when we cross multiply, we get 34 is equal to the square root of 3 times x. Divide both sides by the square root of 3, which leaves us with x. In other words, this piece right here is going to equal the square root of 34. Actually, because we're going to have to rationalize the denominator, we get 34 over the square root of 3, but because we have to rationalize the denominator, we're going to multiply above and below by the square root of 3. So what that really equals is 34 times the square root of 3 over 3. Okay? So if that is true, then one of this little piece right here is equal to this. Well, we have to double it to find this whole dimension here. So technically what we have, though, is, well, and we can just double it. That's not that hard, because we'll get 68 times the square root of 3 over 3. So this leg, or this side of the regular polygon is the same as this side right here. Okay, so this dimension right here is equal to this. So how many of those do we have in a hexagon? We have 6 of them. So we have to take 68 times the 68 times the square root of 3 over 3 times 6. 68 times the square root of 3 over 3 times 6 is what's going to give us the perimeter, okay? So we do some math here. 3 and a 3 is 1, 3 and a 6 is 2. So that means we have 2 times 68, which is going to give us let me see, square root of 3, 2 times 70 is 140, so that's going to be 136, I believe. 20, 36, I think that's right. Okay, so 136 times the square root of 3. All right, that is our perimeter. So what is the perimeter? Perimeter is equal to 136 times the square root of 3 feet. Now we're ready to plug that into our area formula. I'm going to recopy that over here. Area is equal to 1/2 of 34 times 136 times the square root of 3. Do some canceling here. We got 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 34 is 17, so we just have 17 times 136 times the square root of 3, and I believe that should give me 2312 times the square root of 3. Just double check that to make sure that's right. 17 times 136, 2312 times the square root of 3. That is correct. 2312 times the square root of 3 feet squared, and that is our area, and we use exact values, okay? So if you persevered through that one, you did great.